Hello everyone and welcome back to Farming Server 22. We're back here on Middleburg with Grober Games. As you probably can tell with the thumbnail and everything, and how much less money we have now, we made a little slight change to the farm. So I actually got rid of the 8,000. The day of this recording is the day after, so two of my favorite modders have released some new items. So the first one, as you can tell right in front of us, is the 7,000 series Alice Chalmers tractor, and I decided I wanted to go with it. I've been following Pleasant Valley pretty closely and jumping in on his streams, and he has put a lot of work into this tractor, and I really wanted to show it off for the series. Plus, to be honest with you, I'm just a big sucker for fenders for two-wheel drive tractors. I think that's always the coolest thing ever, and even this edition of the Rock Box. I am just a sucker for those little details and such. The one thing I haven't found on this tractor, and I know he puts on some of his other equipment, is his little logo for Pleasant Valley Farms, which I don't know if it's because this is partial. I think the way it made it sound like it's partially someone else's mod that he worked on and got up to this awesome detail and such, and maybe that's why he didn't put it on, or maybe he just didn't want to. I always think when modders do that, that's the coolest thing ever, but I don't know the full story behind it, but I wanted to show this off. The other mod that just came out today is JMF has finally come out with an ag bag mod. I don't even know where it's located at here, but I do know the silage bagging mod. And I messed with it earlier today. It's a little bit finicky yet, but it does work. So right here, a cheap, easy way to start bagging silage. So I think we'll be heading for that. Okay, so looks like it's under auger wagons. And I haven't messed with it too much yet, to be honest with you. Like, I messed with it a little bit. The only bug or issue, I don't know if it's a bug really, is just trying to unload the silage bag right now. So basically it's kind of hard to explain, but there is a video out there. Another content creator created a video on how it works and everything. And the only issue is right now it's a little bit finicky when it comes to trying to remove silage or high moisture corn or mineral feed or whatever you plan on putting in there. Like, it takes a few seconds for the bucket to respawn. I know the few times I've messed with it, I got it to work, but when I go back for a second scoop, I haven't been able to get it to, so I don't know if there's some sort of sweet spot or something that I'm missing. I'm pretty sure he's trying to work all the kinks out, but I'm still planning to use it for this series eventually, once we get more cattle. But as you can tell, we're down to 16 grand. I know it probably wasn't the best choice, especially since we're going to have to eventually buy a portable barrel to get fuel up here. But like I said, I sold the 8,000 off just because I really think this tractor deserves a lot of recognition. If you don't follow Pleasant Valley on YouTube, I suggest you guys go over, stop and say hi, because he has put in a lot of work on this tractor. Like, all this detail and such. Just fire it up here. And just even the exhaust vibrating a little. I don't know if that actually happens on some of the Alice tractors. I never actually have ran one before, but like I said, I am just a sucker for the wheel fenders for two-wheel drive tractors. Any tractor that comes with set up like that, or even just the rockback style, I am instantly a sucker, and you have my attention. But we're gonna get started here, because last episode we ended up getting quite a bit of lime spread. We got a bunch of lime spread, and we're going to start working on getting all this hay baled up, because I eventually do want to get us some cattle. I'm going to have to take my time here, because I feel like these windrows are going to be pretty easy for us. Whoa, geez. What happened there? Let's throw those up on the wagon. That was really goofy. Just seeing bales flying everywhere. But we're gonna keep plugging along here. I know. Oh, okay. I think just bailing on the side hill is gonna cause issues. I Might take us a few times, but we might have to go around again just because in reality you don't... Jeez. I don't know how well this is going to work out for us. All these bales just popping off like that. But with these windrows being so wide and thick, and us bailing on a side hill, it's probably going to cause a little bit of issues, so we'll just have to take our time here a little bit, getting this all baled up. I think we're going to have a lot more hay than I realized, so we might have to sell some of it off, which isn't going to be a big deal for us, just because I know we're going to need a little extra money for my, I'm not going to say poor investment choice, but my need to want to play around with this new 7000 series tractor. I just think it is just a sharp looking machine, and I just love when, especially even with like with the 3-point hitch, it's kind of hard to see right now. I just love when they put 3-point hitches like that on tractors as well. I think it's just such a nice little touch that not a lot of people think about. Especially since it's more of a, I'm guessing it's more of an American thing to have like a 3-point quick attach hitch like that. I always call it a 3-point hitch. I know other people call it category hitches or quick hitch or whatever you want to call it. I just always been known to call it a 3-point hitch. So that's what I'm going to be referring it to as. Like, one of the things that I found out... Okay, there we go. I didn't know if that rack was going to be able to get it. One of the things that I've learned in my experience, especially through my internships, when I was back in college and doing ag internships and such, is like how many different ways that people call certain parts or certain pieces of equipment, and then they call them by something else, and I think it's more irrelevant to what area of the state you are, or maybe even the country for that matter. But to me, this was the whole different like state of the area thing. Even when I worked in parts for a John Deere dealership for a while, there's certain parts that they called by names that I'd never even heard before. I'm like, well, that, and I think part of it is just some of like the older farmer slang as well that just kind of kept around and such. It's just one of those crazy things that I think about every once in a while that comes to mind. But we're going to work on trying to get all this hay baled today. That's my main goal right now. Like I said, it might take us a few passes, and I don't know. Like right now, we're already got the hay rack pretty full here, so we're going to have quite a bit of hay here, so I may sell a load of hay off. I haven't really decided yet. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll get both racks full first, and we'll see how much hay we have left in this field. Like I said, I think we're going to end up buying cattle in the springtime. By that time, I think we're going to start, we'll probably roll some more corn later on today or maybe next month, just so that way we can keep fermenting some whiskey. I think September was the prime month for us to sell it, but we're going to need some extra money and such. And like I said, I just couldn't resist getting this tractor on the farm. I know I could have cheated some money in and such to get it, but I kind of want to make it, still keep it a challenge, because I think with this map, the way some of these extra production structures that the modder has put in here, I think we'll be able to make money at a fairly decent rate. So that's why I wasn't super concerned, but I think we'll jump into the time lapse here finally, and we'll see how far we can get here today. We might even push this back and finish this out next month as well. So we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, everyone, this is where we're going to start wrapping up today's episode. I decided to get some liming done. I'm planning to go out back to our pasture out here between episodes and try to pick up as much as grass as we can yet. Because it's going to bug me if I leave that much laying around. But I figure instead of having you watch me do that the whole time, I figured we get that last field lime. And then we'll only have one field left to lime next episode. And we could probably work on that once we get a good portion of the field harvested. I know we're going to have to get more lime, but I want to see how much we can get covered with the lime we got so far. And I decided to haul a load of corn down to the mill and get that cracked because we're gonna need funding. And I decided with the last load of corn we got in the bin, we're gonna outright sell that to one of the cooperatives. That way our neighbors aren't questioning what we're doing with our time down here, especially with our little building back here per se. What they don't know won't hurt them type situation, and just keep up an innocent front, so to speak. So we're gonna get this dropped off here. And I was gonna say, okay, it's not distributing. I thought it was gonna distribute, so we'll have to go down and get that cracked corn later, which is not a big deal, to be honest with you. Let's turn that off for now so we don't use too much money for having nothing in production. And maybe well, you know, we got to get that corn later. Just back this back up in the bushes again. Keep it kind of hidden from the prying eyes. Let's see here. I was gonna check out the markets quick. I went past them, didn't I? Yes, I did. So we only really got, so $505 is kind of like the rough estimate for $5 corn. We're not even close to that right now. Let's go and see what corn whiskey is bringing. I'm sure it's plummeted by now. Oh, we can make corn syrup too. That's interesting. So it's actually holding up fairly well yet. Walmart. Of course, Walmart would be one of the places undercutting us big time for it. But it's holding up extremely well for the Flying House sell point and the Ferrari's Ribeye bar sell point. And I know that's where we sold our first load, so maybe we'll be getting in contact with them next episode. I think we'll probably we'll work on that at the end of that next episode. We'll clear out all the line we have on the trailer before we go buy more, and then we can just load the trailer up with barrels and sell enough for us to get by for a while. I think that's what we'll do, but like I said, in between episodes, I'm going to finish baling all that extra grass, that extra excess hay I missed. Those windrows are just a little too wide for the baler, but I'm not going to be changing anything. Also, on a side note, I figure out what we're going to do with this situation. I haven't really used them much, but I have some disc harrow mods. Like the old, I can't remember. I think Tyson made a, where is it? I know he made a disc mod, an international one, so I think we might actually grab that one just because I know we said we're going to go no-till mainly, but I think it's better to call this, what's the right word for it? You also could get that too. I've always wanted to mess around with that. Get a turbo till instead. Maybe that's what we'll do, because I'm sure the international would have no issue. So 17 shanks, 5.2. I think our Ford plow is still bigger. I'm almost certain of it. What was the thing? So I was either thinking of going to the 630 disc here, or going to the Tyson Dinsy's disc. I know I have it in here somewhere. I wonder if it's under just case or international. It has to be under case because I didn't see it anywhere. Yep, there it is, case IH. So we could buy this disc here. I would honestly go with the tan color because I know I used it in my Notemans a little bit, but I wouldn't mind showing it off a little more. I think this is a really well done model. But I also wanted to mess with the turbo till as well, so I'll have to sit there and think on that. Because what are we at right now for width for our cultivator? It's 6 meters, ain't it? 7 meters, okay. So if we went with the disc, if we went with the turbo till, we'd be losing like 2.4 meters, 2.6 I think it is. But if we went with the Tyson's disc harrow, I think we'd be only losing like a meter, if that. And the thing is, I like showing off this cultivator, but we're kind of, instead of saying we're a no-till farm, we're more of a minimum till farm, so to speak. So just getting the turbo till probably would fit our style better for this series, but we'll see what I ultimately decide in the long run. I think we'll try to get rid of this next episode as well, so it doesn't depreciate in value as the months go on. So, but anyways, this is where we're gonna wrap it up today, everyone. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe so you can stay up to date to the latest series. Above all else, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. And most of all, thanks for watching.